Welcome back to another budget closeout. We are closing out July's budget and going into August. We had a big month, we had big numbers, and so much happened this month. We paid off our car, so we have one less debt. We actually didn't use all of our paychecks. We had less spending than what we thought, and then we also got to save so much money that we felt comfortable to really figure out where we're going to go for the next 6 months to a year. So much happened in July. Let's talk this through: how we paid off our debt, where we made money, how we saved money, and where we really spent over the month. And let's break that down one category at a time. If you are new here, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back to Balance While Blooming. Here we share more than just finances. We share mindset, how to become your best self and balance all areas of your life to bloom. And that being said, this is just one area of our life where we share our budget, how much money we make, where our money's going, and we zero-based budget. You guys will see all of our expenses. You will see our exact numbers. We round them a little bit just to be able to do our template, but every single expense will be shown at the end, along with if we have money to roll over or if we are in the negative. But let's break this down, starting with our income, going to our bills and expenses, talking about our payoff car debt, our sinking funds, and then where we spent for the month, and figure out where we ended up for the end of July. We did close out this budget July 21st instead of the 26th, so you will see some changes throughout the budget worksheet because of us not getting those last two paychecks. Jumping right into our income, we ended up not using our fourth paycheck, so those will go into August's budget. We just closed it before the 26th, so we don't have that money yet. And then we have 4 paychecks for my husband, 2 paychecks for me, and our 2 tenants. So our tenant actually paid for $60 to pay us back for something, and then this was $10.80 to try to catch up on their back rent. Now for my husband, this is busy season for him, so he is having way higher paychecks, but we always like to lowball. So he had really great month with his hours, between $830 and $1,080. So it really varied from week to week. And then I am salary, so I make $18.95 every bi-weekly. And then we also, just to get the month moving, we had to move from savings $1,000. And that being said, we hope that we save an extra $1,000 towards the end of the month to move that money back. But if not, we needed that, and it was part of our debt savings because of our car debt. So let's figure out how much that all added up to, and hopefully we had enough money to put over $1,000 back into our savings as well. Okay, what a great month. We actually made more than what we even expected without the 2 paychecks at $10,125. Now, of course, that would be $9,125 because of this $1,000. So just put that in your mind when you're thinking about everything and us trying to put that $1,000 back. Now let's quickly go into our bills and expenses. These are where we really have to focus our money as the month goes on, because you want to make sure that you can always pay your bills and expenses. So as always, our rent is $1,400. Then our water bill was actually only $80, which was great. Our internet was $100 just because of I changed our date, so our time frame was a little bit different, so they gave us a little bit of a discount. Then phone bill was always $35. Utilities is $500. We just pay a flat rate to our landlord if you are new here. Groceries, we spent $1,035. I want to remind you that we do all of our, like when we stop at a gas station, all of that are drinks, food. We travel a lot in the car. My husband's always in the car. He's always getting drinks. That also adds up to here, which we could put into our expenses if we really wanted to cut back in spending. So realistically, this is a lot of splurge spending as well, but it is groceries thing. He just doesn't have time at the house before he leaves. Gym is $35 and our gas was $200. And then we didn't pay any health insurance this month. We had it prepaid, and then $220 was our subscriptions. And again, we had nothing for extra home bills. So let's figure out what this is. Typically, it's anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500, sometimes on the high end of $5,000, depending on our groceries and our health insurance and if we have any extra bills that month. But typically, it's between $3,500 and $4,500 for our monthly bills and expenses. Okay, so 3,605. We actually saved some money here, which is great, even with everything working out. So bills and expenses was $3,605. So we were on track for our bills and expenses. Now we are going to talk about our debt payoff. We ended up paying off our car. We are almost debt free. We do have a bad debt in collections from my husband, but realistically, it is just, we have to pay it in whole, so we are sinking it at this time. But we did pay off our car, so we have no active like monthly payments other than our credit cards that we zero out every month. So to pay off our car was $1,175. So a little bit over what we thought, but that is okay. We knew it was around $1,100, but we had $1,175 to pay that off. We actually got our title in like 3 days ago, so I'm super happy about that. One less debt, one more thing to be able to put to savings. That's about $300 a month that we now get to put somewhere else, which we will be actively putting into our debt in our home as we are trying to get our down payment for our home and pay off that debt as soon as possible to get it off my husband's credit. So let's talk about our sinking funds and our spending funds and see how we saved and spent this month and if we stayed within budget. If you are new, we just started separating these for sinking funds and spending funds, and I want to talk about our sinking funds first. How much were we actually able to save? Now, if you haven't watched our midlife reset or my monthly goal, I am working towards saving $3,000 every single month. But now, of course, we took $1,000 out of here, but part of that was this together was part of where our $3,000 had to go. So we were already planning on saving more than what we thought for the month. So if we were able to pay this off and do this and give back, we would need to be around $3,250. Now, I am here to tell you that it was a tight month. Towards the end of the month, I was not sure how we were going to do it. We front-ended a lot. We knew that we had to put some money into savings for health and dental. We actually got our bill and found out that we had to save more. We were like, are we going to be able to put this $1,000 back even if we do hit the $2,250? Does all of that need to go into health and dental? I didn't know where we were going to sit, but we ended up only doing $600 for home because I put about $300 every paycheck. So we subtracted a paycheck, so that's okay because it's like $250. It's now going to be $300 for that. So that makes sense, right? And then we did do our other for $300. And then when we got our bill, I was like, we have to put $1,350 here. We just have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's close to where we are and moving some of our other money around that we're just in another category into health and dental to be able to pay our bill next month is what we need to do, because I need to get my wisdom teeth out and we need to make sure that we have that money so we don't go into credit card debt. This is a lot of ramble, but it was more like, how much do we need to put here? So at the end of the day, we were pretty much sitting here and I had no idea how much we would have. And so we had $600 plus $1,350 plus $300, and we were sitting exactly at $2,250. So that's where we sat pretty much until the 20th of July. Now I want to talk about where we are with our spending, because I don't want to close this out, because I was like, can we save the money? Do we have enough to put in and maybe roll over some money? Is that possible? So let's talk about my spending funds. So for our dining out and fam fun and everything like that, we spent a little bit more, $435. We spent $290. And then our 50% for our birthday vacation was actually $795. So when I saw all these numbers, I was having a heart attack. I was like, I understand that we spent a little bit more here, had a bit less. We're right on track for here. And I know we still made some more money, but we're so far over in every category. So let's break this down of how much that is. So that's is $1,520. So we went over. So I was very scared of where we were gonna sit for money. So what I had to do was take how much we made, subtract our monthly bills and expenses, subtract how much we paid off our car, and then subtract how much we spent, and we had enough money. So we knew that this was $2,250. I was like, okay, we have $1,500. So what I decided to do was put the $1,000 back into the bad debt. So this $1,000 looks double, but it's actually just us putting it back. But technically we did $3,250, but $1,000 of this was just putting it right back. And that's okay, because some months are tighter than others. Some months you were budgeting another $2,100. Could we have saved another $2,100? I don't know, but we're also like, August is going to be a busy month. We have so much to pay for. What if we can budget in as much of our health and dental and move some of this to our bad debt? You know what I mean? Figuring that out as time goes on. Now, let's figure out, as we know, we're going to be in the positive because we moved $1,000, but it's around $500 that we have to roll over next month. We have decided to move whatever was left over to next month because we saved an extra $1,000 and moved that back. So what does this number come out to? And the way you do that is you take your income and then you subtract everything else to figure out your balance. And that comes out to $575 that we get to roll over next month. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot. We'll probably only roll over $500, but again, this is our budget. This is how we are budgeting, and I want to share with you guys our expenses. As you can see in the first column, you see the gas and the groceries, and that came out to $1,230-ish. Then you have our spending funds. You can see exactly where we ate out, where we had fam fun. I did what my husband did, our miscellaneous, everything like that. That came out to $1,520. And then of course we have all of the money that we saved. We have our car payoff. We have of course all of our bills and expenses and our subscriptions. So all of that was $6,802. So I'm really glad that majority of it was bills and expenses and savings this month. That's not how it always works out, but it did this month. And I'm really, really happy to say that over 50% was within bills and expenses and savings. And total, we spent $9,553.09. And let's quickly show our exact money, exactly where everything played out. We really close. We had $574.22 to roll over. Now, as always, this is our budget. This is for our family. This is how we decide to spend and save our money. Where we do not show is my husband's retirement fund, all the behind the scenes of me starting a Roth. We haven't even put money into that, but that will start going on here into retirement. Then we have other money accounts. We have other bank accounts that move money from one account to another. I don't show all of those transactions of where they go unless it's a hefty amount that we are moving from savings. Now, if you guys want, I can do a whole sinking fund and give you guys estimates of where we have all of our money and kind of where our money has been moved into separate categories, because they don't always go into these. And I can always show you a full breakdown of how we think about our money, how I get these money amounts, and realistically why I lowball us so much and why we're a zero-based budget family with rollover money. But if you have any questions about budgeting, balancing your life, or any area of life, feel free to comment to let me know which area of your life that you want to be. We don't always talk about areas of life. We also talk about goal setting, productivity, and so much more. And you can always follow me over on Instagram. Join this community of balanced people who are trying to bloom into their best self. And as always, start figuring out where your money is coming in, where you spend your money, and start actively trying to balance your money, as I feel like it's so important to still be able to splurge a little, to be able to live within your means, but also pay off your debt as quickly as possible, save as much money as possible, and roll with the punches, honestly, of how you are going to succeed financially, mentally, physically, in every area of life, one step at a time. So as always, keep blooming, keep balancing, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.